Our story begins with Kazuya, a young man overjoyed at the thought of finally having a girlfriend. But alas, his happiness is short-lived as she abruptly breaks up with him, leaving him devastated and consumed by heartbreak. Unable to cope with his emotions, Kazuya contemplates seeking friendship or therapy, but instead, he makes a fateful decision. Kazuya embarks on a quest to find a surrogate girlfriend, hoping to fill the void left by his lost love. Enter Mizuhara, a beautiful, cute, and charming girl who becomes his first date. With anticipation in the air, they venture to an enchanting aquarium, sharing laughter and conversation amidst the aquatic wonders. However, as their time together comes to a close, Mizuhara surprises Kazuya by holding his hand and expressing her enjoyment of the date. Little does he know that behind her sweet facade lies a hidden truth. Back at home, he stumbles upon online evaluations that reveal Mizuhara's actions were all part of a carefully orchestrated act. Consumed by anger, Kazuya retaliates by giving Mizuhara a low rating. But even in his fury, he can't help but question her integrity. Is it acceptable for her to go out with men she doesn't genuinely like, all for the sake of money? Seeking answers, he agrees to one more date, determined to confront her. As they visit the aquarium once again, Kazuya's frustration boils over, leading to a heated confrontation. Amidst the chaos and the curious gazes of onlookers, Mizuhara reveals another side of herself, defending her efforts to be a good girlfriend. This unexpected twist leaves Kazuya astonished, realizing that there is more to Mizuhara than meets the eye. In a dramatic turn of events, Kazuya receives a call that his beloved grandmother has been hospitalized. With their scheduled appointments still in progress, Mizuhara selflessly accompanies him to the hospital. There, his grandmother's curiosity sparks a chain of shocking revelations, as Kazuya introduces Mizuhara as his girlfriend. Amidst tears of joy, Mizuhara embraces her role, impressing Kazuya's family with her charm and kindness. As his parents depart, Mizuhara decides to share the news of their newfound relationship with her friends at the hospital, leaving Kazuya and Mizuhara alone to confront their own insecurities and fears. In a vulnerable moment, Kazuya opens up about his grandmother's previous hospital visits and the friendships she has formed there. In turn, Mizuhara confesses that her own grandmother is also hospitalized, unaware of her work as a surrogate girlfriend. The weight of their shared struggles brings them closer, intertwining their lives in unexpected ways. After being discovered in a compromising situation by Kazuya's grandmother, the couple seeks refuge in another room of the hospital. They hide under the covers as his grandmother searches every room, sending waves of nervousness and unexpected desires through Kazuya's mind. Mizuhara's own grandmother appears, stumbling upon the unlikely pair. The grandmothers are overjoyed, blissful at the coincidence that their grandchildren are dating. However, Mizuhara is far from pleased with the situation, her heart conflicted by the charade they've been forced into. Mizuhara offers an apology for their predicament, suggesting that all they need to do is break up and everything will return to normal. Kazuya opens up, sharing his grandmother's dying wish for him to find genuine love. He reveals that his previous girlfriend had broken his heart, leading him to resort to renting a girlfriend. Mizuhara's palm collides with Kazuya's cheek, a sharp slap punctuating her words. She expresses her distaste for their fabricated relationship and makes it clear that she never wants to be his date again. However, she offers a glimmer of hope, suggesting that Kazuya can reach out to her when loneliness consumes him. Determined to find genuine love, Kazuya leaves, vowing not to continue with a fake girlfriend. The following day at college, his heart sinks when he encounters his ex-girlfriend. But fate has something unexpected in store for him. In a surprising turn of events, he crosses paths with Mizuhara, transformed into an entirely different persona. Mizuhara catches up to Kazuya, urging him to keep their connection a secret. She confesses her desire to keep her business hidden from others. To their astonishment, they discover that they not only attend the same college but also live next door to each other. Seeking solace at his home, Kazuya receives a call from his grandmother, informing him of her impending visit. Fearing the repercussions of revealing the breakup in person, he implores Mizuhara to pretend to be his girlfriend one last time. Reluctantly, she declines, reminding him of their agreement. Mizuhara's curiosity gets the better of her, as she discreetly explores Kazuya's home. To her surprise, his grandmother begins to suspect that they have broken up. With a heavy heart, Mizuhara witnesses the longing in Kazuya's grandmother's eyes and asks if she is upset. But Kazuya's grandmother, overflowing with love, expresses gratitude for Mizuhara's role in fulfilling her dream, if only for a fleeting moment. Empowered by the joy she has brought to Kazuya's grandmother, Mizuhara decides to make one final appearance, reigniting hope in the elderly woman's heart. In a grand gesture, she reunites with Kazuya, making his grandmother believe that their love has rekindled. After Kazuya's grandmother's visit, he expresses his gratitude to Mizuhara for playing the role of his girlfriend. Mizuhara, however, raises a question about when he plans to visit his grandmother. Kazuya reveals that he visits her every Wednesday. A proposition arises. Mizuhara suggests that he can rent her every Wednesday to bring joy to his grandmother, with the condition that he won't seek her presence outside of their agreed arrangement. Kazuya and Mizuhara embark on a visit to his grandmother. Along the way, they unexpectedly encounter Kazuya's friends, Kobe and Kurabayashi. The friends are thrilled to meet Kazuya's girlfriend, further boosting his self-esteem. They invite the couple to join them at a bar, an invitation that ignites Mizuhara's anger as their web of lies extends further. Reluctantly, Kazuya agrees, promising to disclose their breakup later. At the bar, a sense of unease lingers when they discover that Mami, Kazuya's ex-girlfriend, is also present. The atmosphere becomes tense until Mami reveals she is already seeing someone else, alleviating the discomfort. Kazuya excuses himself to the restroom, only to return to overhear Mami discussing their relationship with Mizuhara, portraying him as inexperienced and needy. Mizuhara defends Kazuya against Mami's harsh words, calling out her cruelty and lack of understanding. However, Kazuya unexpectedly defends Mami, believing she meant no harm. This defense causes Mizuhara to leave, leaving everyone feeling a sense of remorse, except for Mami, who continues to act as if nothing happened. As the evening concludes, goodbyes are exchanged, and Mami approaches Kazuya, feigning cuteness and inviting him to her house. However, she quickly rescinds the invitation, leaving him saddened and curious about what could have transpired. Amidst the confusion, Mami continues to act sweet and considerate, a stark contrast to their past relationship, reigniting Kazuya's desire to reconcile with her. At this moment, Mami questions Kazuya about his current girlfriend's behavior earlier, criticizing Mizuhara's actions. However, unlike before, Kazuya stands up for Mizuhara, making it clear that he dislikes Mami speaking ill of her. It's a moment of growth and assertiveness for Kazuya, as he learns to defend what he holds dear. Upon returning home, Kazuya knocks on Mizuhara's door, consumed with worry that he has upset her. To his surprise, Mizuhara assures him that she is not upset and understands his lingering feelings for his ex. In a vulnerable display of emotion, Kazuya attempts to embrace her, but Mizuhara stops him by placing her foot on his face. Following the bar incident, the night group decides to spend a few days at the beach. Kazuya contemplates whether he should go, considering Mami's presence. Kobe reveals that it was Mami who suggested Mizuhara join the trip. Kazuya, oblivious to Mami's hidden intentions, sees Mizuhara as an angel, not realizing she may have ulterior motives. When asked why Mizuhara didn't go, Kazuya lies, citing the short notice, when, in reality, it was due to his inability to afford renting her. Kazuya's mind wanders as he envisions a perfect scenario of reuniting with Mami, believing it would bring his grandmother the same joy she felt when she met Mizuhara. His desire to settle with his ex intensifies, blinding him to the consequences of his choices. It's disheartening to witness his misguided thoughts and the potential damage they may cause. Meanwhile, Mizuhara finds herself at the same beach with her own friends. Unbeknownst to Kazuya, Mami takes to her private Twitter account, revealing her true intention of breaking up the couple out of anger. While Kazuya daydreams about a rekindled romance with Mami, memories of their past, including their only kiss, flood his mind, fueling his longing for her. In an unexpected twist of fate, Mizuhara and her friends appear, leaving Kazuya fearful that his friends will recognize her true identity. Thankfully, their recognition is averted, providing a temporary relief. Lost and unsure of what to do, Kazuya seeks solace in the bathroom, where he contemplates the potential laughter and judgment he would face if the truth were exposed. As Kazuya enters the bathroom, Mizuhara opens the door, assuming it is empty, only to be pulled inside by Kazuya. Overflowing with gratitude, Kazuya expresses his thanks for everything Mizuhara has done for him. He then poses the question of whether Mizuhara would be upset if he chose to reunite with Mami. Anger fills Mizuhara's heart as she reminds Kazuya that their entire relationship was founded on a transactional basis. In that vulnerable moment, Mami appears at the door, growing suspicious upon hearing Kazuya talking to someone. Kazuya hurriedly exits the bathroom, attempting to divert Mami's attention. However, Mami persists in her curiosity, demanding to see who Kazuya was conversing with. With quick thinking, Mizuhara emerges from the bathroom, assuming the role of Kazuya's girlfriend, concealing her true identity. The group of friends bombards the couple with questions, trying to pry out the truth. Kazuya resorts to crafting a web of lies, deepening Mizuhara's anger, as she becomes entangled in his deception. As Kazuya takes a refreshing dip in the sea, he can't help but notice the attention Mizuhara garners from other guys. The reminder that she may be out of his league lingers in his mind. Suddenly, Mami appears, causing a scene and asking for Kazuya's help in finding her lost bracelet. In a moment of pure coincidence, Mami slips on a rock, falling into Kazuya's arms and stealing a kiss. Unbeknownst to them, a girl from their class comments about Mizuhara leaving her boyfriend on the beach, unaware of the kiss taking place at that very moment between Kazuya and his ex. As their kiss reignites memories of their past, Kazuya reminisces about their initial meeting and his determination to make Mami happy. However, Mami quickly apologizes for the kiss and conveniently finds her bracelet, leaving Kazuya bewildered. Just then, Kazuya's grandmother calls, informing him of her imminent discharge from the hospital and inviting him to visit with Mizuhara at any time. Upon returning to the table, Kazuya discovers that his friends believe Mizuhara to be wealthy due to one of his lies. They discuss a party at the girl's mansion, and Kazuya sees this as the perfect opportunity to announce their breakup. Kobe, rightfully angered, throws a punch at Kazuya, calling him out for looking at Mami while dating Mizuhara. Kazuya expresses his inability to comprehend the pain he endured when breaking up with Mami, leaving everyone distressed, especially Mizuhara, who overheard everything. In a moment of clarity, Kobe questions Mami's actions, pointing out that she, too, was wrong for seeking attention from a guy she chose to break up with solely because he was dating someone else. Distressed by the turn of events, Mizuhara leaves the group behind. After the dust settles, she finds solace in meeting up with Kazuya, assuring him that their friends do not know the entire story and that he shouldn't be too hard on himself. Kazuya, remorseful for the pain he caused, apologizes sincerely to Mizuhara, who offers him words of comfort, reminding him that he can become a better man when he truly tries. In a surprising turn of events, Kazuya's friend, Kobe, calls Mizuhara over for a conversation. At first, Kazuya misinterprets their interaction as flirting, but he soon realizes that Kobe is actually acknowledging Mizuhara's positive qualities and expressing his admiration for her optimism, which he has admired since childhood. Kobe asks Mizuhara for another chance and reveals that he has bought 2 ferry tickets, hoping to give them a moment alone. Overwhelmed with emotion, Kazuya finds himself moved to tears as he witnesses this display of true friendship and support. In that moment, he expresses gratitude for having such a remarkable friend by his side. Mizuhara begins to feel unwell during their ferry trip, and Kazuya expresses his admiration for her by saying he would give her 10 stars for being an incredible person. He assures her that he will respect her wishes and not bother her anymore. Meanwhile, Mami calls Kazuya, urging him to meet her at the hotel pool, but he declines, claiming to be busy on the ferry. Mizuhara's condition worsens, and she seeks solace near the pool's edge to catch her breath. However, an accident occurs, and she falls into the water. Kazuya, momentarily distracted, realizes the danger and immediately jumps in to save her. He rescues her, but the exertion takes its toll, and he faints, leaving Mizuhara desperate and calling for help. With no other choice, she musters her courage and performs mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, saving his life. Kazuya awakens in confusion, greeted by Mizuhara's gratitude for his heroic act. Rescue arrives, and the remainder of their trip is spent in a nearby hospital. As the journey nears its end, they bid farewell to each other, with Kazuya expressing his heartfelt appreciation for Mizuhara going to such great lengths to save him. She casually dismisses it, as their friends nearby assume they have reached a deeper understanding, while Kazuya ponders the significance of a kiss for her. Back at home, Kazuya finds himself scrolling through class photos, stumbling upon a picture of Mami in a bikini. His thoughts become consumed with passionate imaginings involving her. However, amidst these fantasies, Mizuhara's image persistently emerges, despite his attempts to push it away. Strikingly, unlike the heated scenes with Mami, Mizuhara's presence evokes memories of heartfelt moments they shared together. It dawns on Kazuya that his feelings for Mizuhara run deeper than he realized. The realization settles within him, and he understands that there is no turning back. Days pass, and Kazuya's family plans a trip for his grandmother's relaxation and recovery. To his surprise, Mizuhara's grandmother has also been invited, and they are assigned to the same room. As Kazuya enters the room, he finds Mizuhara stepping out of the bathroom. Perplexed by the situation, Mizuhara, ever perceptive, understands that their grandmothers orchestrated this encounter. The two of them find themselves questioning the grandmother's intentions, but their answer is both surprising and revealing. The grandmothers assert that they can stay in the same room since they are now officially boyfriend and girlfriend. After the grandmothers give their blessing for Kazuya and Mizuhara to do as they please, the two realize they cannot afford another room. Kazuya questions the high cost of Mizuhara's services, but she brushes it off, suggesting they make the most of their time together. They decide to tell their grandmothers they broke up, but as they arrive at a local scoop shop, Mizuhara unexpectedly encounters Kazuya's grandmother. In a heartwarming conversation, Kazuya's grandmother opens up about a significant moment in her life, expressing gratitude for Mizuhara's presence in their family. Mizuhara, burdened by her own lies, feels conflicted but is met with understanding. Kazuya's grandmother reassures her that everyone tells lies and affirms her genuine liking for Mizuhara, even if she were an alien. Mizuhara begins to let go of the idea of revealing the truth about their relationship. Resolving to enjoy their trip, Kazuya suggests sleeping in the hallway, but Mizuhara insists they share the same room without any ulterior motives. Kazuya's hormone-driven thoughts amuse Mizuhara, leading her to kick him playfully, reminding him that she isn't interested in any romantic advances. As the night unfolds, Kazuya reflects on Mizuhara's maturity, and realizes that being with her has the potential to make him a better person. In a moment of vulnerability, Kazuya admits his desire to stay together, believing that Mizuhara can help him grow. Mizuhara, understanding his sincerity, reassures him that she will continue to be his rental girlfriend, assisting him in improving himself and finding a new girlfriend to introduce to his grandmother. Days pass, and they share the news of their continued relationship with Kazuya's friends, evoking happiness among everyone except Mami, who observes from a distance. Mizuhara reinforces the concept of paid dating, encouraging Kazuya to be honest in his evaluations of the service. Despite his initial reservations, Kazuya finds himself increasingly delighted with Mizuhara's role as his rental girlfriend. Their connection deepens as they navigate the challenges together. Mizuhara notices Kazuya's broken cell phone, a casualty of their ferry incident, but his optimism remains intact. Just as they prepare to leave, they unexpectedly encounter Kobayashi, who shares news of his own relationship. Before they can react, he proposes setting up a couple's meeting. Afterwards, Kazuya is left wondering how even his friend got a girlfriend and he was still with a rent girl. After a chance encounter, Kazuya bumps into a girl named Ruka, who turns out to be his friend's girlfriend. Moments of fun on a climbing wall lead Ruka to invite Kazuya upstairs, where she confesses her knowledge of Mizuhara's true profession as a rental girlfriend. Mizuhara denies the accusation, but a domino effect of events puts their secret at risk. Distressed, Kazuya and Mizuhara find themselves in a momentary respite to gather their thoughts. Mizuhara warns Kazuya about the danger of their secret being exposed. Their hearts race with fear as they contemplate the consequences of their deception. However, when Kurebayashi leaves momentarily, they hatch a plan to convince Ruka of their genuine relationship. Kazuya's heart pounds as Mizuhara approaches him, her hand covering their almost kiss, and they perform a staged kiss to deceive Ruka. The tension is palpable, and Kazuya is on the verge of losing control. Yet, Ruka remains suspicious, as she didn't witness the true connection between them, leaving both Kazuya and Mizuhara fearful of being discovered. The three of them walk together, and Kazuya resolves to prevent any private conversation between Ruka and Kurebayashi. He fears that Ruka may reveal their secret to Mizuhara's friend. Sensing his unease, Ruka bids them farewell and walks away, leaving Kazuya in a state of panic. His next move is the worst thing he could do at that moment, following Ruka to convince her to keep quiet. Kazuya's pursuit only deepens Ruka's conviction that Mizuhara is, indeed, a rental girlfriend. As he desperately pleads with Ruka, he exposes his vulnerable side, asking her not only for his sake but also for Mizuhara's, whom he considers to be the best girlfriend in the world. To Kazuya's surprise, Ruka reveals that she too is a surrogate girlfriend. Faced with this unexpected revelation, Kazuya shares the discovery with Mizuhara, who confirms Ruka's claim upon researching her name. It begins to make sense that Ruka knew about Mizuhara, as they both worked in the same profession. Now, they must find a way to convince Ruka to keep their secret, for the sake of their fragile relationships.
The next day, Kazuya waits for Shun when Ruka shows up in his college. She tells him she came to see him, and seeing Shun coming, they run and hide. Ruka tells Kazuya to hug her to confirm something, but as Shun comes, they hide under a desk. As they hug under it, she checks her phone and makes a noise. Shun ends up hearing it and finds them. Ruka then thanks him for renting her, which shocks Shun, who then runs. As he couldn't find Shun, Kazuya goes home and talks with Chizuru over the door. He explains the situation, but then is shocked to see Ruka showing up. She explains that Shun told her he lives here when they passed by. Seeing that Chizuru is his neighbor, Ruka gets frustrated, wondering how far their relationship stretches. She promises to not tell anyone about Chizuru being a rental if he goes out with her. She explained that she fell for him, and if he treats rental girlfriend that good and even risk his life on the ferry, then he will treat his actual girlfriend even better. Chizuru tells Kazuya to go out with Ruka, as she looks like she really likes him, and just leaving her on her own can lead to lots of problems. Kazuya starts spending time with Ruka and completely stops renting Chizuru. However, he finds it quite hard to keep up with Ruka, as she wants them to talk on the phone at least 2 times a day, to like her tweets, to always read her message, and there is the fear she may expose his fake relationship with Chizuru. As Christmas is coming, Ruka visits Kazuya at the college, but he asks her to not come there as Shun could see them, and she agrees, and they make plans for Saturday to see a movie. Kazuya starts to miss Chizuru, but finds out she is booked for Christmas. On the next day, he sees her all dressed up and meeting a boy. At first he thinks it's a client, but then figures out he can actually be her boyfriend. As he gets worried that may be true, he starts following them and finds the boy name being Umi. He ends up watching a movie with them, eating lunch, and eventually hears that they will eat at his place. In front of a Christmas tree, he sees Umi is about to kiss her and interrupts them. However, Chizuru explains that he was just fixing her earring and that they aren't a couple. She is surprised he knows about the dinner at his place, but Umi guesses he means the script. Having no choice, Chizuru explains that she is an actress, and that Umi is another actor from her school. Kazuya then wonders about the phone call in the restroom, and Umi explains he was trying to recommend Chizuru to a director he knows. After Umi leaves, Kazuya reveals that he has been following them since they met, and he decided to stop, but thinking that Umi may be a scumbag, he just couldn't let it go. As he starts to think that Chizuru is indeed from a different world than him, she gives him a present. It's a phone case since his phone is broken due to her. Kazuya starts crying as this is the first time a girl had given him something for Christmas. At New Year, Kazuya takes Chizuru to meet her grandma and parents. As they arrive to everyone's surprise, Ruka shows up stating that she will be joining them. Chizuru and Kazuya panic but introduce her as a friend. Ruka quickly starts to flatter Nagomi. When they reach the restaurant, Nagomi wonders from where they know each other, and Kazuya explains Ruka is Chizuru's friend, but Ruka states he's his girlfriend. Nagomi tells everyone to enter, but wants to talk with Kazuya. Nagomi starts beating Kazuya for cheating on Chizuru. She tells him either to cut ties with them or to break up with Ruka. Kazuya explains that Ruka is a pathological liar, but usually is a nice girl, and Chizuru is too nice to cut her. Ruka tells Chizuru that they can't keep this lie forever and are just complicating things themselves. She guesses that Chizuru keeps this act as she wants to be his girlfriend, but if she doesn't want it, she must let her take the role as she is serious about Kazuya. During the dinner, Ruka feeds Kazuya, however, there is no reaction from Nagomi or his parents. She realizes something is strange and calls him elsewhere to talk. Nagomi and Kazuya's parents tell Chizuru that she is too nice as she manages to deal with Ruka. Elsewhere, Kazuya reveals that he told his grandma that Ruka is a pathological liar and she wants to fix it, but he stops her as they will think he is two-timing them. Ruka thinks that is fine as she is the real girlfriend and she will pretend to be a friend around his family, but Kazuya just sneaks out. After dinner, Nagomi and Ruka end up being alone. Ruka plans on telling her everything and tries to convince herself to do it. However, Nagomi states that she is glad she met Ruka as she is friend of Chizuru and she has tons of questions about her, what she likes, dislikes. She acts the same while she isn't present. Ruka realizes that Nagomi doesn't want a girlfriend-in-law, but Chizuru herself. Nagomi and the rest then continue towards the shrine. Chizuru tells Kazuya that everything is okay and he goes and thanks Ruka for not telling his grandmother and apologizes for telling her she's a liar. Ruka tells him that she felt it isn't the right time to tell her, but she isn't giving up on him. Ruka starts working at the same place as Kazuya as it's Chizuru free place. As he thinks his luck can't get worse, Yoshiaki and other of his friends arrive at his workplace and mock him. Yoshiaki tells him about Shun acting weird and writing gloomy tweets. Kazuya figures it's due to Ruka and asks her to apologize, but she thinks that may only complicate things and she haven't worked as rental since they started dating. Kazuya starts thinking of how he can help his friend Shun. He comes up with an idea and goes to Chizuru and asks her for a favor. The next day, he arranges a meeting with Shun. However, instead of Kazuya, Chizuru arrives and introduces herself as Shun's rental girlfriend. Shun can't believe it and checks online, confirming that she is indeed rental. They go in the amusement part and he refuses to enter, but seeing that Chizuru would still go alone, he decides to stay with her. Spending the whole day with her, Shun is reminded of what he misses and expresses his desire to really have a girlfriend. In the evening, he intends to pay Chizuru, but she states it's been paid already. He then sees Kazuya watching them, and Chizuru leaves them talk for a bit. Hearing the whole story, Shun starts laughing at Kazuya, but feels relieved. Chizuru then returns and Kazuya leaves. The next day, Kazuya receives a note from Chizuru asking him to meet her at the balcony that evening. He starts imagining of what it may be, but as he goes on the balcony, Chizuru asks him to rent a friend of her, Sumi, as she recently started as rental girlfriend, but is quite shy and clients complain and Kazuya agrees. Chizuru then asks him about Mami, and Kazuya explains they haven't talked since the beach and is no longer sure he still loves her. The next day, Kazuya waits for Sumi and sees a girl hiding behind a column. He figures that's her and she confirms. As they go for a coffee, he realizes how shy and introvert she is as she doesn't even say anything. He takes her to bowling, but since it's her first time, she slips and falls. Kazuya asks her why she wants to be a rental girlfriend, and using gestures, she explained that she wants to change. Kazuya goes to get some drinks, but as he returns, he sees 3 guys hitting on Sumi. He doesn't want to get into a fight, but not wanting to disappoint Chizuru, he goes in and takes Sumi away. They go on different places and spend good time together. As Kazuya hits his nose, he goes to wash himself, and as he returns, he is surprised to see Mami with Sumi. Kazuya starts to panic and introduces Sumi, but is surprised she keeps the act as his girlfriend, as that will only make his situation worse. Mami asks Sumi if she can give them a few minutes to talk, and Kazuya agrees. Mami comments that Kazuya have really changed and is now with another cute girl. Before leaving, she tells Kazuya that she won't tell Chizuru about it. Later, as their date ends, Kazuya tells Sumi that she can take it nice and slow, and although she doesn't talk much, it was obvious she was really trying to make this a fun date, so he believes a nice girl like her can be a rental girlfriend. Sumi is reminded of Chizuru's word and calls Kazuya's name, telling him they will see again, and then leaves. At home, Mami can't stop thinking of Kazuya. She's really surprised that a cute girl like Sumi is interested in him. She couldn't find Sumi on social media, but searching her name, she finds out she is rental girlfriend. Chizuru calls Kazuya on the balcony and thanks him for taking out Sumi, as she really enjoyed her time. Chizuru then explains she considers leaving her rental girlfriend job, as the director Umi spoke to is interested in her and will give her a role. Kazuya is sad to hear that, but thanks her for everything she had done for him. The next day, Chizuru has a date with a customer named Maya. However, the customer is revealed to be Mami. Kazuya agrees to go date with Ruka. Later at their job, just as he is about to ask her to be his girlfriend, he spots Mami and Chizuru heading into one of the rooms. Mami attempts to pay Chizuru, but she refuses. When Chizuru wonders why Mami is doing this, she simply ignores her. Meanwhile, Kazuya finds out that Mami knows the true nature of his and Chizuru's relationship. Once they leave, he fakes an illness so he can follow them. When he finds them, Kazuya overhears Chizuru telling a skeptical Mami that he is her boyfriend. She then asks Mami if she's ever thought that he was truly the love of her life. However, Mami gives a vague answer. At night, Kazuya thanks Chizuru for speaking up for him. When she apologizes to him for not getting him a girlfriend, he confesses that he wants her. When questioned, he reluctantly says that he meant as a rental girlfriend. Inside her apartment, Chizuru becomes flustered.
How was the video? We hope it was good. If so, please check these videos. Also, please comment down your thoughts and your suggestions for future videos. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing now to show the support to our channel. We hope to see you soon with another video right in this channel. Have a nice day.